Good evening, everyone. In today's video, we are gonna continue our endeavors in trying to counter the mixed wind-earth march. And I really, again, want to highlight the training camp for this. So it's a few thousand gems you're gonna be paying here and then, but it just really allows you, especially early on, to test out your own march against possible setups, because it just allows you to do these customized teams that I have on my right column, and I can just freely customize these even with immortals I don't have. In today's video, we are gonna be going over a pretty much free-to-play account. So it does use Zenobia, so that's the only purchase you would have to make to copy this build. But we're going to really be utilizing Gilgamesh as our main damage dealer and Alexander. To protect ourselves from the front row, we're going to be utilizing Caesar as our tank in the front, as his Golden Ruler skill can deal some damage, but more importantly, unfortunately, it's only a chance of disarming the enemy with the highest physical attack and highest magical attack. So hereby reducing their attack damage for quite a substantial amount, so it's 30% reduced damage. So this is a build that can be used against many teams, as usually you will have one main damage dealer. For instance, against a lightning march, you have the Khan that you just need to suppress, and Caesar is a really great counter for that. In this scenario, we actually have two. So the mixed wind-earth really rely on two damage dealers, Alexander and Hannibal. So we will only affect one of them. And that depends a bit on the enemy then, which has the highest attack. So we're really going to be utilizing Caesar to basically give us some sustain, as well as Zenobia that will apply some heal. So we're going to test this out, and in our settings we've set them up completely equal, in terms of that you can see against my march here that sure they're all max level, but we don't have our barracks at maxed. Class I have only Alexander, so the two main damage dealers, that's the same for the wind earth, that they are at 23 in class. Whereas Zenobia and Caesar, our support immortals, they're only class 20. They're all maxed in star grades. And again, same for the equipment, it's not even maxed yet. And this is really because I just advanced into season 2. So I'm still having some work to do on that end. Something that I actually just realized that we don't have yet in the training camp is the gems. So this is something you should bear in mind here in the beginning. Currently, I'm trying to press the strengthen button here to add gems. We cannot do that. So during this testing, mind that our equipment is significantly weaker than our opponent's equipment here. So if we go in and adjust here. Okay, never mind that. The equipment on our mixed wind earth in this case doesn't have the gems either. So whenever you're in training camp, actually you do not need to worry about gems. So that's a good thing to know, but it also does mean that it's a bit screwed. So if you, for instance, only have one damage dealer, you can have stronger gems on that one damage dealer, whereas a mixed wind earth in this case, you would spread the gems out on your Alexander and Hannibal. So just mind that. But yeah, moving along in our setup here, then we are gonna be trying out one setup here with misleading on our Caesar, and the reason I'm gonna focus a bit on this is that I find misleading to be a highly underrated aura. It seems to me that this is gonna be the determining skill when facing a mixed wind earth. The dodge or the accuracy rate, it reduces these 18%. It plays an enormous role, and you will see that as we do some testing here now. Pretty basic setups nevertheless here. So if we start with Gilgamesh, the next we want to run Adrenaline Rush, get as many abilities thrown at the enemy team, Anger to increase our physical damage, and then Fighting Master to avoid him being stun locked by the enemy Earth Dragon. We are running pretty basic artifacts, so not the unique ones, as this is focused a bit on free-to-play. Zenobia, we are aiming for the Silver of Palmyra there, however not with the special attributes, because as a free-to-play player you might only get one of these. But yeah, the healing target's attack speed bonus is great on this one, so we're going with that. Together with some defensive skills here, Oaken God, Berserk, and War Blessing. Moving on to Alexander, we are gonna be focusing on him mainly. If you're playing this, you're gonna be putting all your efforts into getting his unique artifact. So mine, this is a imaginary scenario, but you're going through a few, say, Stellar Compass rounds, and eventually you would probably be lucky enough to get Rapid. And then because you've been unlucky previously, you can actually upgrade it a few times. So in this case, we have it at Artifact Star Grade 2. So this is a fairly reasonable setup, and also realistic for even free-to-play players to get this one. So yeah, let's see how it performs against my highly invested Spended Mixed Wind Earth March. And we're just gonna be doing this at a bit high speed and then slow down as we get closer to some important events here. So now I'm gonna slow down to take a look at Caesar. Who is he gonna throw his skill at? So mind that we need to finish the dragons, and now he's supposed to cut it, and it lands on, I believe that's Hannibal who got it. So I think, yeah, Hannibal is the one with the highest attack, which is why he is the one who gets it. So that's really great for us, as yeah, it really allowed our Alexander to actually finish off the opponent Alexander and help out against Hannibal here. So yeah, this was quite substantial. We really dominated this match. And if we go in and look at the hits here, so this is what I always find interesting, is to see the dodge rate on the normal attack. So the opponent Alexander, if we start out with him, there's a 16% dodge on his normal attacks. That means he just hits way less combos and cleaves, and even some of those were dodged. Cleave is a 100% hit always, but yeah, it is dependent on hitting normal attacks, hence why Misleading is such a great aura skill. Hannibal, let's see here, he had a whopping 29% dodged normal attacks, meaning again, way less dragon power hits got completed. Meanwhile, our Gilgamesh in the back row can just shoot out so much damage. Same with Alexander, he just really gets a lot of hits in, still with a 17% dodge on his normal attacks, because we are also obviously running Misleading on the opponent's side. So yeah, there you have it. That's one march that can really make a big difference. And just to really emphasize the Misleading here, I'm gonna try to do the exact same thing with Malice, as a lot of people like to use Malice to counter, say, lightning and fire marches. But just to see how well we perform without Misleading, because that would be great. If this still dominates, then you have a greater chances also using this march against fire marchers. So let's see how we perform this time. Again, I presume that Caesar's skill is gonna hit Hannibal. This time our Alexander's taking quite some heavy hits. Let's see if he can hold up. So Gilgamesh really need to get some more damage out there so we don't lose our Alexander in this battle. But yeah, again, there are debuffs on Hannibal, hence I presume... Yeah, so you see suddenly we are really taking heavy damage here. And because they're getting so many hits, and we see a lot of health regeneration happening on the Mixed Wind Earth, so Gilgamesh damage is not quite enough to take them down. So yeah, let's just speed this up and see what was actually the determining factor here. I believe that's just a lot of successful hits suddenly from the Mixed Wind Earth. So yeah, suddenly there was only 2 missed normal attacks from the opponent Alexander. Again, this means that so many combo hits and cleave hits gets in, even 100% hit rate on the combo this time. Normal attacks here, only 1 dodge. So I really hope this comes to show that regardless of what March you are running, against the Wind Earth mixed March, you need to play with misleading. We need to dodge these 2 front row immortals as much as possible. But yeah, nevertheless, this is a fairly strong free-to-play setup. At least on training camp, it beats it. Mind once you start adding on damage, attack speed, and whatnot on these immortals in the Wind Earth mixed, it really starts to perform better and better. So that's why you saw in season 1 this doesn't nevertheless perform very well, mainly also because of the dragons, but we are testing it up against another Earth Dragon here, so that's not screwing it in any way. So yeah, try it out yourself, guys. Again, before you make any huge decisions on what immortals to get, try out training camp first yourself, but at least in my experience here, this March works quite well. See you around, guys. Take care, like and subscribe. Bye bye.